Welcome everyone to Your Life, Your Voice.
Hi, Claire. How you doing?
Good. So basically, Julie and I are co-hosts with our wonderful program. Hope you've hung in there because we're a bit not on time. But let's do acknowledgement to country. So
Thanks, Claire.
here we go. So D&D Your Life, Your Voice project acknowledge the traditional owners of the land to which we work and live and recognise their continuing connection to land, water and community. We pay respects to elders past, present and emerging. We remember all self-advocates who have worked hard over the years for the rights for themselves and other people with disabilities and human rights for all. Nothing about us without us. So we're back again.
We're back again. So today we have a special program to air. Today we'll be talking about medical rights, and we'll do this in a number of ways. So would you like to pull up the PowerPoint, Claire?
Sure. Here we go. Oh, PowerPoint. Here we go. Talking about your rights, medical issues. So in this presentation, we include why you should make a complaint, the Australian Health Charter, 7 standards. 1 is access, 2 is communication, 3 is safety, 4 is participation, 5 is respect, 6 is privacy, and 7 is comment. If you are not happy with provider response, other contacts, questions for reflection. So that's how we will outline today's YouTube. So I'm just wondering if you can see that, Julie.
I can see it. Very, very small, but I can see it. Yeah. So, would you like me to start off the
Yes.
first slide?
Yes, please.
So, why you should make a complaint? It's your right as a consumer to complain about services you receive. When you complain using the correct processes, you are making services better for yourself and others who cannot complain. These may include people with disabilities, people from another culture who have limited English skills, also the general population. These may include the elderly and people with small children. Be the voice of change. Whenever you feel you're treated unfairly, you should speak up and make a complaint. Create an inclusive health system by speaking up.
Yes. The Australian Health Charter 7 standards is the Australian Health Charter 7 healthcare rights, which are access, communication, safety, participation, respect, privacy, and comment, as we mentioned earlier.
Gule, I'll just deviate from that. There's a really cool video. Can you pull up YouTube?
What do you want me to do? Tell me.
So pull up YouTube and Google the Australian Charter of Healthcare Rights. And there's an actual cartoon that comes up.
Well, how about while you read the next one, while people and I do that in the background, and I'll come back when I'm
okay. Sorry. I'm so sorry, sir. So sorry. So, you have rights to healthcare. So you have a fundamental right to adequate and timely healthcare. Sometimes this may not be the healthcare facility you first attend, as not all services are necessarily available everywhere. You can contribute to the right of access by trying to make your appointments and telling your facility when you cannot. Accessibility includes any physical barriers, for example, stairs to language issues or language barriers, seeing and hearing issues, and making available printed information in easy English formats.
Okay, so
Sorry.
I was just going to ask you, what was the website again? Australian, what was it?
Australian Charter for Medical Rights.
Thank you. I'll look for it.
There's a very clear party-like image. It comes up as, do you know your healthcare rights? Yep. So it's a really cool. It is very clear in its explanations. So do you want me to continue?
I'm just trying to find the video you're talking about.
The Australian Charter of Healthcare Rights.
Okay, I think I've found it. I'll put it on after you finished it. Yeah.
So so it's second edition. It's second edition.
Yes.
Do you have that? Okay,
yes.
cool. So do you want me to continue?
Yes, please.
Access to health care. You have a right to health care. You have a fundamental right to adequate and timely health care. Sometimes this may not be the facility you first attended, and not all services are necessarily available everywhere. You can contribute to the right of access by trying to meet your appointments and letting the facility know when you cannot. Accessibility includes any barriers from stairs to language, seeing and hearing issues, and making available printed information in easy English formats. I think we did that twice, but yeah.
Okay, so let's move into what you suggested.
I don't think it's the same one though.
Is it
Do
this?
you know your healthcare rights?
Yes, it is, yep. It is, yep.
The Australian Charter of Healthcare Rights describes what you or someone you care for can expect when receiving healthcare in Australia. Access. You have a right to access healthcare services and treatment that meets your needs. Safety. You have a right to safe and high-quality healthcare that meets national standards and is delivered in a safe environment. Respect. You have a right to be treated as an individual whose culture, identity, beliefs, and choices are recognised and respected. Partnership. You have a right to ask questions and be involved in open and honest communication. You have a right to make your own decisions and to include the people you want in your care. Information. You have a right to clear information about your health, treatment options, and any costs involved so that you can provide your informed consent. Privacy. You have a right to have your personal privacy respected and information about you and your health kept secure and confidential. Give feedback. You have a right to provide feedback or make a complaint without this affecting the way you are treated. You have a right to have your concerns addressed in a transparent and timely way. For more information about your healthcare rights, ask your doctor or healthcare service or visit our website.
Yep, so we're back. Thank you for that. So let's move on to continuing with our PowerPoint presentation. I'm about to share our screen now. Ready?
Ready.
Yep. So, access to healthcare. Is this your bit or my bit? Or have we done this one?
I think we've done it twice. So,
okay, so here we go. Communication. Communication in your preferred format and language. Examples include Easy English, picture boards, Auslan, or any other alternative communication method as outlined in the client's care plan. Ask questions if you are unsure about what is happening to you. You can have an advocate, like, for example, a family member or carer, if this makes you more comfortable and surer. A right to be informed about services, treatment options, and costs in a clear and open way that is understood by the patient. Healthcare providing will tell you about the care you are receiving and help you understand what is happening to you. You can contribute to communication by being as open and honest as you can be. To understand the instructions given to you, you can ask questions if you would like more information, to ask for a health advocate or family member to be present when receiving information. You can use interpreters if English is not your first language. Interpreter services are free and can be provided in person or by phone. What an amazing change, Julie. We are going to go to the next slide, but I just wanted to make a comment and see if this was your experience, or, for any of our viewers, is that when say my parents came out to Australia as migrant workers, the interpreter was me. And we went to everything and explained things between the doctor and the patient. And as a young child, saying these things was quite difficult because they'd have medical language, and I wouldn't have that language in English or in the language group that I was raised in. So can you relate to that, Julie?
So what decade are we talking about?
Oh, we're going to the 70s.
Well, the majority of Maltese immigrants came after, like, 1950, after the war,
Yeah.
predominantly, and there was basically no
Yes.
there was no language services. So, and there was lots of struggle with language. So, like a lot of Europeans, I don't think it was the language barrier that made them do this, but they started their own business. So, and like both my parents worked in factories, but they had ambitions when they came to Australia. But I would say that language skills did not improve throughout their whole life, because what tends to happen with migrant communities, that they stick to their own community largely. So they had a child who had health issues. So I read my reports from back then, from when I was 5 or 6 or even younger, and they state, there's very little understanding of English, and they struggle a lot. And the information my mother provided wasn't, when they researched it with the various hospitals, there was no information about me. So So I could appreciate just by reading my medical records how difficult it was for my parents to deal with. So what happened in the end was basically very little care. Well, it wasn't their fault. It was just the situation, and they were scared. They were scared of the system. My feeling is they were actually a bit scared of the system,
Mm-hmm.
and whether a child would be taken away from them, or because I did read something along those lines. I read something along those lines, and I could be wrong, but I thought, oh dear me, that would have been quite traumatic for them, and not knowing their rights in this particular area. Yeah, I can just imagine what they went through. So I have lots of empathy for people in this situation
Mm-hmm.
till today. Yeah. So anyway, and then later on, what happened, what actually transversed, was that I actually had to become my own advocate. And I was lucky to have that insight and courage and that challenging ability to professionals, to doctors, to teachers. Yeah, that was saying things that weren't. I didn't feel they were right. That their assessment wasn't right because they weren't taking in the holistic view of what was going on in the family environment. So yeah, I had to become my own advocate. I did that from probably the age of 5 or 6, going to school and realising that I needed to take charge of my own life.
More power to you. Yes, look at this. Well done, Julie. Excellent. I'm sure many people can relate to you or I, or they have their own story. And we'd love to hear it. Email us or write something in the chat so we can have this conversation.
At DD, Your Life, Your Voice, at gmail.com.
Yeah. So let's move on to the next slide. Safety from staff and other patients. Let staff know if something has been missed and details of your healthcare. Rights to safe and high quality care. If you are unsure about what is happening to you or if you think something has been missed in your care, alert your healthcare provider. Let your provider know any circumstances that might make your healthcare riskier. You can also ask for your advocate or family member to speak up on your behalf.
Participation. A right to be included in decisions and choices about care. You are encouraged to participate in decisions about your care. Ask questions if you are not unsure about what is happening to you. Involve your family or caregiver if this makes you feel more comfortable and surer. Just on that point, that slide, Gole and the audience,
Yeah.
this is very important because sometimes people with disabilities or people with healthcare issues are not listened to by professionals. And I've had this happen on many, many occasions. I've had my peers in the diversity disability team have similar experiences happen to them. Sorry. And you have to know that once you make the medical profession alert that you're onto it and you know your rights. So part of this program is awareness of knowing your rights, and sometimes things don't flow as they should. And people are busy, healthcare professionals are busy, but that's really no excuse. So once you make them aware of, you can ask for your Charter of Rights. Meaning all hospitals will have a Charter of Rights, and participation is really crucial because you are the they all know, you know your body. So you can push the point, keep on pushing your point and keep on striving for diagnosis. Because a lot of the time, it's happened to me, it's happened to others I know, this needs to be pushed and more tests can be made. If one test doesn't reveal any particular condition that you're feeling, just keep on pushing for more tests with your healthcare providers.
I was also going to say that, yes, that you can. A good idea is to carry a book with you, even if it's just a standard exercise book, and write down the date, like rule it if you like. Write down the date, the time, the professional, and their name, and what they actually said to you. Was it an assessment? Was it a consent thing? Like, was it tests? So maybe in the other example bit is to say, well, I got my blood tested today. Then I will hear results on this day. So if you kept a book about your health, that would really help you in managing all the different professionals that might be involved with your health care. You know, usually your GP or say if you're with the NDIS, the support coordinator or someone could set this up for you so that you are more empowered to be able to ask for your rights as well.
So, Gule, what if people have communication issues?
I know. That's a
So
big issue. Yes.
what strategies can we employ? Do you
Yeah.
think we employ? A lot of people have smartphones now.
Yeah.
So, do you think we can employ strategies like keeping a video diary on your phone?
Absolutely. Any way that you communicate, I think that's what you are close to and understand, and people can try and understand you by your way of recording your information, whether it be audio or video.
Yes. So and even so it's a journal of your medical issues.
Mm.
I think that with doctors, that's what they do. They ask you for basically a timeline of when things start, how you felt, what happened, and that's how they try to find a diagnosis. So if you can manage somehow to have some sort of journal in your preferred communication style, that would help professionals and yourself to a clearer and better diagnosis.
Absolutely, and maybe even ask your carer, like you might have a personal attendant, ask them to help you record this information. And when you do seek some sort of medical kind of advice, that they assist you to record it as well.
Absolutely. That's a good point.
Yeah. So we'll go to the next one, which is respect. A right to be shown respect, dignity and consideration. You are entitled to receive care in a way that is respectful of your culture, beliefs, values, and characteristics like age and gender. It is important to tell your healthcare provider of any changes in your circumstances. Respect also includes being mindful of healthcare staff and other patients. And yeah, I think this is really important because, you know, some people think that a medical doctor, what they know is, and what they say is, you know, more important than what you think is wrong with you, what is happening with you. So there's a mutual respect thing that needs to be understood, that you respect your healthcare professionals and they can respect you and what your needs are.
In the state disability plan, D&D diversity disability were asked to give feedback because we are people that experience these sort of situations, whether we deal with culture, culturally and linguistically diverse communities. And one of our recommendations for the next disability state plan is exactly this:
Yes.
to train health professionals on cultural beliefs, disability, because not everyone with, say, cerebral palsy has the same sort of issues.
Yeah.
Everyone is individual, and their needs should be person centered.
Mm.
So we that's the feedback we're giving to the state disability plan, which happens every 3 or 4 years,
Mm-hmm.
and then they take our information and attempt to implement our recommendations.
So someone who's watching us right now, how could they be a part of that process? Could you let us know about that by any chance?
Well, they can join groups like Diversity Disability. They can join council groups. There are council. I'm not sure what they're called, but they go to your local council and they would have a group that informs others. It's like a focus group, and of people that have a interest, or people that are experiencing these type of issues, and you just give your feedback to them, and that's how they make policy. So, like other organisations call it think tanks, and that's exactly what it is. It's a think tank of people that are experiencing these sort of issues, and they get together and they provide input for future policy changes.
Mm. Mm. Okay, so the next slide. A right to is it my turn?
I think so.
Okay. A right to privacy and confidentiality of information. You're able to see your records and ask for information to be correct if it is wrong. In some situations, your health information will need to be shared between healthcare providers. You can also contribute by respecting the privacy and confidentiality of others. I think you can also apply for the freedom of information into your records as well. You do have those rights. I think that's still around.
Yes, it is absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's under the Privacy Act.
Yes.
So yes, you absolutely have a right to privacy and confidentiality.
Yeah. And you can access your records.
Yes, and that's important. Maybe people can, maybe on a yearly basis, or maybe longer. You can have a look at your medical records and just see whether you agree with everything that's on there. And, and
Yeah.
if you don't, there'll be processes that you can take to correct the information.
Yeah, I've heard of some advocates who, which is quite strong in the movement, is that nothing about me without me. So I've known of people who are part of their case file plan writing. So there's also professionals out there who are very forward thinking, and when they write down your information, they actually co-write it. So they write it with you, and saying, well, how do you feel we should put this information in your file? So there's a way of writing about your details and things like that. So you have the right to look at what people are writing, but you can also ask to be a part of that file, a part of writing your own file. Have you heard of people like that too, Julie? Or
There's a big push for co-design.
yeah.
So some organisations that can help you with these issues, or maybe if they can't help you, they can point you in the right direction. There's organisations like Valid, and there's
How's that spelled? Valid? VA?
VALID,
Yeah, yeah.
and Valid. Every letter stands for something. So Valid, don't ask me what they stand for, but it's to do with disabilities.
Yeah.
There's also ADEC,
Yep.
who is a health-specific organisation. Also, SARU. SARU stands for the Self-Advocacy Resource Unit. And if, these organisations are linked in together and they know a lot about other organisations that can provide you with these types of connections. I'm sure that there'll be some sort of health advocate around, like a maybe a state or a Commonwealth type of organisation. But at the moment, I don't have those details. But I'm sure that they will be in the system somewhere.
Yeah, so those people who have just joined us, we've been talking about medical rights and the process and the 7 rights in the Charter, which we'll go back to at the end of what we read. Yeah? Okay, so here we go to 7, a right to comment.
A right to comment on care and having concerns addressed. Healthcare providers want to solve problems quickly, but they need to be told about the problem first. If you have any suggestions about how services could be improved, please let staff know. The procedures used by the health service organisation to comment about your care should be made available to you. You can provide verbal or written comments about the procedures and your experiences. To commend health workers, to complain about your health care, and or to be advised of the procedure of expressing concern about your care, please contact your health service provider, patient liaison representatives. If you are not satisfied with the outcome of your comment, there are other ways to complain. So just on that point, Gulaire,
Yeah.
I believe there are healthcare representatives in every public hospital. So if you're not happy with something or something's gone wrong with your healthcare, you have a right to that to be addressed, and to speak to a client representation that is part of the hospital. I know this because I was involved in some care that I received that I wasn't really happy about, and I made a complaint. And at the very least, it's on the record here.
Yeah.
At the very least. So things take time to change, but putting things on record is very important for future, for others, and for yourself in the future.
I guess the interesting part is the public system. It's not the private healthcare system, which have their own way of going about how they look at information. So I think that's an important difference that people need to know, is that there is a health commission that records your information about your complaint, but it's very different in the private healthcare system, I believe.
Okay, well, I've been in both private and public systems, and I'm sure they would have procedures. Because even though it's a private system, they need to have not exactly, but they need to have processes in place for when things go wrong. So, or there's some sort of issue in their system that needs addressing. So I'm pretty sure there'll be a very similar system, but not exactly the same. The same. Yeah, they don't exactly work the same, but I'm pretty sure that there will be a system there.
Yeah. Okay. So if you are not happy with provider response, other contacts. Victoria, so the Vic Office of the Health Services Commissioner. Health.vic.gov.au HSC. Victorian Human Rights Equal Opportunity Commission. Their email is inquiries, ENQUIRIES at veohrc.gov.au. There's also the ACT Act, Human Rights Commission, Health Services Commissioner at hrc.act.gov.au.
Just on that, go there.
Back on the other one.
Yeah, just on that, yes.
Yeah.
So it's really important before you go any further in your complaints to do the basics. And the basics is, does the provider know of the complaint? What action did the provider take to address your complaint before you go any further? Because sometimes there could be a misunderstanding, and the complaint can be dealt with like in a very short space of time before you go to any other authority.
Okay. So start with the person that you've got the issue with first.
The person, then it's escalated to their manager or their team leader, and then start from there first. Because if it's something that they can fix, we don't really want to go through the stress, and like even for us, for the patient, you don't want to go through that stress if the issue can be dealt with face to face.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm thinking is, what happens if you're unsure of things? What happens if you're not as confident and as assertive to be able to stick up for yourself? Like, would there be someone? I'm sure there are people like peer workers or people in different organisations that can support you to make these kind of feedback to the health organisations.
Well, there are social workers within the public system that would go some way to address these sort of top issues. Yeah. So that's one other way you can possibly try and deal with the situation face to face.
Okay.
And having a journal is very important.
Yeah, that's essential. That is essential so that you know that you could give. There's also that new thing that came in a while ago about your record, like that there is a medical record that can be shared throughout.
Is it on MyGov?
Yeah, I think I forgot what they called it.
Yeah, it's on MyGov. I believe it's on MyGov.
Yeah. So any professional that works with you, they put that information into the cloud, I guess, for other medical professionals to access your files about you.
And also, with MyGov, it could be a good tool because you can access it from your home. And then if you're not happy with the information or you think something's not quite right, you can actually readdress it and get it corrected.
Yeah.
So it works as a resource for both the provider,
Yeah.
if you're like unable to communicate for health related issues, and for yourself. So it's a good tool for yourself if you want to correct things that you think are not correct.
Yeah. Wow. So It's good to be able to have your say, which is basically our program's name. Your voice, your life, sort of kind of.
Your life, your voice.
Yeah, like it's having a voice and having it's all about you. And I guess that's what we're here to do, is to encourage you and look at ways and if you're thinking of something that you'd like to see us look at, please email us.
On D&D, your life, your voice at gmail.com.
And we will do our best to research it and get it to you, yeah?
Yeah. So, would you like to move on to some COVID supports, Agulea?
Sure.
So,
Let me just stop sharing.
sure.
So you had that information, I believe.
I do. I
Is-
might continue because I've had technical issues today. So I'm
Yeah.
on my phone. So to do this program. Goulet is the main tech person today. So at the moment, Melbourne is under its fourth lockdown. So we are very, very aware of how this affects people, some more than others. So we'd like to provide some information of how you can support yourself. So one really good thing I can say is to see if you can have a connect with a friend, either on Facebook, on a phone, on FaceTime. That's something you can do. That's quick and easy, and you can get some connection, have a chat with someone. So, what do you think of the bad day, Goulet?
Yeah, it's important to stay connected with people, but sometimes because of your disability, it makes it like 100 times harder to do something that you think anyone can do. Like I guess there's complexities. I agree with doing those kind of things, but maybe some people who know of people with issues, with diversity issues and disability issues, maybe you could give them a buzz and see how they're going. Take responsibility for your friends and family and consider their isolation, maybe, and we might not know. Like, someone might be well resourced, but some other people might be lucky if they got a phone call in 1 week or something.
Yeah, and I like to be respectful to people. So, what I try to do, I try to send them a message. And nowadays, there are voice messages you can send to people on your smartphone, or maybe you have the capability to message someone, and you messages saying, would you like a chat? Can I call you? So being respectful to people is very important. And they may say, oh, can you call me in half an hour?
Yeah.
Or something else. So so that's I think that's a good tip.
And another tip is for our Auslan people, hard of hearing and deaf people, they you probably know how you communicate with them via email or text. So what works? Some people who are vision impaired and also have hearing, I guess you got to know that person and send some information to them in various modes, yeah, to get through. And please persist, yeah, persist with your friend or your family member, your neighbour. Let's all be, take responsibility within our community, of people in our community, yeah.
Also, the current stage of lockdown, we can exercise for 2 hours a day, and you go outside for a walk. You can even go to your backyard, and the sun is out at the moment, and get some vitamin D. And vitamin D will help to boost your immune system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, you can try calling your support coordinator. So the NDI support coordinator is resourced to help you in these times. That's another possible contact.
Yeah.
Also, I'll get you Gulair.
Yeah.
There's an organisation called Headspace, which
Yes.
which caters to people between 12 and 25 years old. But I found also a section of it called Headspace. So would you like to bring it up and share the screen? Because it had some really great tips.
So what is it? eheadspace.com?
I just googled Headspace and it came up.
All right. While you talk to our people, I'll look those for it.
So also there's organisations like Lifeline, and if you feel triggered, please call Lifeline on 131114. That's 13 11 14. For those that are between 12 and 25, there's Headspace. Their number is 1800 650 890. Also, for men, there's an organisation called Men's Line, which is a 24/7 organisation dealing with issues relating to domestic abuse. So Google Men's Line.
Okay, so I've had a bit of time to look that up. I'm just sharing it with us. So here we go. eHeadspace. eHeadspace provides free online... Oh, excuse me. Yeah, so eHeadspace... I'm really sorry about that. eHeadspace provides free...
Your voice is kind of a bit soft, Gulair.
And counselling to...
Gulair, your head's got a bit soft.
That's what you said earlier. So did you want me to show this video?
Yeah, your voice is back now. So yeah, you can show this video. Yep, that'll be fine.
With COVID-19 changing our communities and the way we live, you might be experiencing changes in your school, study, work, relationships, or your physical and mental health. Whatever it is you're facing, Headspace is here for you. Head to our website, headspace.org.au. It's packed with great ideas, information, and useful things you can do to support your mental health. There's loads to explore. You can check out our interactive tools, full of ideas for improving your mental health. You can create an account and join group chats, connecting with other young Australians to share tips and experiences. You can create your own space and fill it with only the stuff that interests you and helps you stay on top of your mental health. Headspace is still here to support you with one-to-one chats with a professional via phone, video, or web chat. You can find out what services are right for you, as well as all our centre details at headspace.org.au. Check out our website now to get the information and support you need.
And we're back.
So if you Google down that page, are there any more resources we can share?
Sorry, any
other information that we can share?
I'll just have a quick look. Yeah, there's the same things that they mentioned, which I can take us back and have a quick look at. That's easy to do. Here we go.
Okay, so eHeadspace provides free information, and yeah, I can't really see that properly, Gulair.
So basically it says how we can help. If you are feeling down, if you are feeling stressed, if you are being bullied, if you have concerns about drugs and alcohol, getting along with your families and friends, romantic relationships, questions about sex, questions about gender and who you are attracted to, getting advice about helping a friend, anything you want to talk about. There's also the option called group chat. Group chats allow you to connect with other people like you. Led by a headspace professional, groups chats explore a range of helpful topics. Other things on that website are, let's see, create your own space. Create a place where you can collect and manage resources to build your own personalized mental health toolkit. There's also connect with us one-on-one. We are open 9 a.m. to 1 a.m. Melbourne time, 7 days a week for one-on-one chat. It's a confidential, free and safe space to talk about what's going on. There's someone's quote. I love my job because I'm able to help people when they need it. I try to provide a safe space so they feel okay and can get whatever is troubling them out in the open. Then we work on ways to make things better. So that's Ashley Headspace clinician. Can you see this bit at all, Julia? Or do you want me to keep reading?
It's a bit, I can't see it, no.
Okay, so basically it says if it's an emergency, eHeadspace is not an emergency service. So if you're in an emergency situation or need immediate assistance, contact mental health services. Go to your local emergency department or call emergency services on 000. If you need to speak to someone urgently, call Lifeline 13 11 14. That's Lifeline 13 11 14 or Kids Helpline 1-800 551 800. So it's 1-800 55 1-800. There's another heading saying I need help with work or study. If you have issues or questions specifically relating to work or study, our digital work and study service specialists can help you get back on track with your study, career, job, other advice relating to employment and education. I'm looking for contact information, which is in that website it's saying. Then there's a section on frequently asked questions or FAQs. So who will I be speaking with? How much does eHeadspace cost? I'm just going to look at that. It says eHeadspace is free, but if you call 1-800-650-890 from a mobile phone, your normal call charges apply. Let us know if you're calling from a mobile and we can call you back. So I guess that's important to know too, isn't it? Like,
Yep.
yeah. So the other headings under frequently asked questions are, what should I say the first time I chat to someone at Headspace? I'll have a quick look at that. This is similar as what I read earlier. So they're saying that it's not unusual to feel nervous about getting help for the first time. Talking to someone new about what's on your mind can take some time to get used to. If you are having trouble talking about your thoughts or feelings, you may find it useful to send an email. Sometimes writing things down helps you sort out where to start. The more information that you can provide to eHeadspace, the more eHeadspace will be able to help you with some of the information that you need to share. So I reckon, let's say for our viewers, check out that website. There's lots of things you can do in there, and it seems like a really good resource for you. There's a question here. It says, can I be anonymous? And young people or family members must register to use a service. It says, to register, you don't need to provide a full name, but you will need to provide an email address. So you don't need to provide your name on the phone either. So there's some issues there that you can look at. There's a fair bit there. So there's one bit that says, what if I'm having thoughts of self-harm? So this might be difficult for some of our viewers to think about, but there's people out there to support you in that space. So that's basically most of the information on that website.
Thank you, Colette.
Pleasure.
So, do we want to go to the acknowledgement of funding agreement?
Yes.
Or is there anything else you'd like to add?
I agree. Let's go to that. And thank you for being with us with this program. We'll come back, but let's do the acknowledgement. Would you like me to do it, or you happy to do that?
I can't do it. I don't have the
Okay, sorry. Yep,
space.
here we go. I'll bring that up. Alrighty. So, acknowledgement for funding body. Thank you so much. So, acknowledgements. We would like to thank the Migrant Resource Centre Northwest Management for their support they give to DND Your Life, Your Voice project. This YouTube channel is funded by the Victorian DHHS and Moreland City Council. DND would like to thank them for providing funding to this progressive thinking out of the box project, especially in these times living through the pandemic. COVID-19 has been difficult for people with disabilities being in isolation. This channel is for them too, and in the next sessions we will be providing information and support on COVID-19 and lockdown. We would like to thank our guest speaker today, which we didn't have. This project would like your ideas on what NDIS topics and guest speakers you would like Your Life, Your Voice to explore. Please feel free to email us on DND Your Life, Your Voice, all one word. So that's DND Your Life, Your Voice at gmail.com. And we're back.
So thank you all for bearing with me with my technical issues and phone calls coming through and being rejected. So, Gulea, thank you for a great program.
Thank you too.
And we'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
Yes, and write to us so we can do things for you and look up stuff. Yeah, so